afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, and welcome to another exciting episode of Balt Night Picks and Line presents the crew. As you can see, it's only two of us here today. We got we got one that's a little under the weather, and one that is traveling back home from his aunt's funeral services. And that
It
was the
sound like
that
it
was the
sound
Duke
the
telling
General
me
Lee.
it's time. Yeah, that's General Lee. That was General Lee telling me it's time to get started. But we'd like to welcome everybody back for another exciting episode as we're going to keep it action packed and fun filled with just the two of us. But before we jump into it, I got to let my counterpart introduce himself. Go ahead.
What's happening, everybody? This me. This your boy, the show. AKA some people call me Big Show, some people call me Show, some people just. As long as you don't call me late for dinner or drink time or call me late when you go into the bar, I don't care what you call me. Call me what your heart put on your mind.
Well,
So
go ahead.
no, I was gonna kick it off with talk about
Go ahead, kick it off.
NFL kicked off this week. Great game. Nail biter Thursday night. Uh, Good game Friday night. Bad injuries for Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers. Right
Who
now they
got
saying they're
hurt?
gonna Jordan Love. Didn't you just hear me say Jordan Love? Jordan
You
Love
said
got hurt at the end right there. Um, Sprain. I want to say they said it was a sprain. ACL didn't tear nothing, but they're looking for him to be out a few weeks. You know, so that's football. Remember, Aaron Rodgers got hurt the first game of last year. So anybody want to comment about it and give your opinion? Atlanta Falcons went down again. Kirk Cousins looked like Kirk Cousins, throwing two picks, two bad, very bad picks. And the Steelers did not score a touchdown, six field goals, won the game for them, 18-10. And you get what you pay for. Everybody hollered about, oh, why they drafted Michael Penix. They got Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins. That's all I hear from Falcon fans down here. All we needed was Kirk Cousins. And on paper, I was, like, okay, yeah, they might be, because I'm a Tampa Bay fan. I was like, yeah, they may be better than the Bucks, but Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers came out today. Defense looked strong against Washington. They put a shellacking on Washington. So now maybe
Well,
I'm
can
starting
you
to
can you really classify that as a shellacking? It's
is a
Washington football.
professional skyrocket. See, there goes skyrocket. You have to take your personal thoughts and your team likeness out of this situation. You just don't like watching it because you are a Cowboy fan. In
No,
the
I
NF,
like
in the
I like
NFL,
I
it's
like
a week.
Washington.
It's a week to week thing. But this week, Washington didn't look good. Okay, Tampa did look good. Come next week, it could look bad. So it's a week to week basis. But Kirk Cousins, all that hype. That's all I'm saying. All the hype, all the people got mad when they drafted Penix. Oh, it's a waste of draft pick. Even today, before the game started, was checking out some programs, some pregame programs on my Sirius satellite radio. Those people were saying the same thing, that didn't like the Penix pick. It was a waste of time. They wasted a pick. They could have got something else because they got Kirk Cousins for the next 3 years. And they may have Kirk Cousins for the next 3 years if he don't play like he played today. But if he played like he played today, that is, they talk about the Deshaun Watson deal. That is, if he don't get it no better, that is gonna go down to, in my opinion, a deal that is similar. Even though Cleveland gonna pay a little more money, Atlanta mortgage their future on this dude by giving him all that money. That pretty much means he yours for the next 3 years. So You, as an Atlanta Falcon fan, I sympathize with him because I was not sold on Baker Mayfield last year. He looked it better this year in this game, but it is what it is right now. So the NFL kicked off. Like I said, Dallas looked good. They still looking good right now. As that game is winding down, they are beating Cleveland pretty sound, pretty handily. So I mean, where all my Dallas fans at and everything like that, I shout out to them Dallas fans, not you,
We
Skyrocket. You don't count.
we thank you. We thank you.
I ain't talking about
Cowboy Nation.
yeah.
Cowboy Nation. So let me tell you about. Well, we're gonna talk about the Cowboys in a little while, but let me tell you about my day. What do you? I got a question for. What do you think about the whole Tyreek Hill situation this morning? Before the game, of him being detained.
I did not hear about the Tyreek Hill situation. I was in church this morning. What happened with the Tyreek? Catch me
Okay,
up
so
with the Tyreek Hill situation.
he was detained for speeding.
Hmm.
I guess he was on his way to the game, and so of course, the reporters asked him after the game, what do he think about the whole situation, and this is what he said.
It's a big match for the National Women's Soccer League, and only the best will win. Just Godzilla bankroll, stones and cereal. No, I ain't got it all. That means I'm very home. Trailblazer, stay rolling with bank. My arch is crafty, dog. Why I stuck on Laffy Taffy, wondering. You shot, you passed me. I've been doing this before. Now it's dropping nasty.
Right now, I'm still trying to put it all together. So I'm not gonna give you a version that you know what I'm saying. But I do want to say, I do want to be able to use this platform to say, like, what if I wasn't Tyreek Hill, bro? Like, worst case scenario, because it's crazy. Like, I want to be a cop one day. I got a state trooper hat, all that, so I got a lot of respect for cops, man. But obviously, you know, everybody has bad apples in every situation, So um, I I want to be able to, use this platform, to figure out to figure out a way to like flip this and make it a positive on both ends, on my end and then also Miami Dade, so that way we can team together and do something positive for the community, because that's what it's all about, bro. It wasn't disrespectful, because my mom didn't raise me that way, didn't cuss and do none of that. So like I said, I'm still trying to figure it out, man. I'm just glad that my teammates were there to like support me in that situation, because I felt alone, and when they showed up, um, it made me realize that we got a good team this year, dog. For them to like put their life on the line. You know what I'm saying? So it was amazing to see, man. Right now, I'm still trying to.
Okay, so he was detained,
Hmm.
um, and from the early reports, they said it was racially motivated, him being detained. Um, some of the players happened to be coming that same way, and they noticed what was going on, and they stopped and intervened. But his whole thing was, what if I wasn't Tyreek Hill? Would y'all have treated me the same way? Or would y'all have profiled me um in a way because of the way you feel about our team? So basically he's saying is biased. He was pulled over for no reason whatsoever. He's still processed. It's not too much he can talk about it right now, because I'm thinking there's going to be some legal ramifications on this. Um, but he's going to use this platform to spin the narrative and make it as positive as he can, where it won't be no repercussion against the police of the Miami-Dade Police Department.
Uh, First and foremost, uh, most of the time I done learned in my life, and I've talked with lawyers and stuff like that. Lawyers always tell you say as less as possible in an ongoing investigation. Say as less as possible. You give them your ID, give them what they ask for, but don't get into no conversation with them. Give them the documentation that they ask for. Don't when they ask you them questions. See that what they try to do is get you to tell on yourself where you going. They ask you questions: where you going? How you doing? Why? Where you headed to? No, you stopped me for a reason. Don't give them nothing else to say, oh, he said this, so that's why I did that. Give them the documentation. Like he said, don't curse, don't say nothing. You give them your documentation that they asked for. If they're gonna write you a ticket, okay, just go ahead on and write my ticket, because that's why you stopped me. Don't tell me you stopped me. Oh, okay. If I ask you why you stopped me, oh, I stopped you because you were speeding. Okay, that's fine. Okay, here go my driving license, my insurance, sir. So if you just stop me for a simple speeding ticket, then why now is you asking to search my vehicle?
And why are you detaining me? Why are you putting me in handcuffs? Because the key
Yeah,
word
see,
is
that's what I'm
detainment.
saying. Yeah,
Detainment. Why you had to put me in handcuffs?
if you stop me for speeding, why am I in handcuffs? This is a simple speeding ticket. You give them your driving license and your insurance information, and that's it. That's a wrap. You know, that's what I'm here for. Blase, blase. That's it. This, that, and the third. You
Mm-hmm.
don't curse them. You don't. If they say, oh, you know, they start asking you questions, then what they try to do is get you to tell on yourself, and like I say, try to be slick. They try to be, oh, I'm just checking on you, man. I'm out here. No, you fishing for information. So in a nice, calm way. And I watch plenty of videos, and I've seen them. And as soon as you tell them no, or say, give me my ticket, first thing they come out their mouth is, oh, why you getting upset? Why are you being hostile? Why are you being aggressive? Because see, that is another tactic they use to now they got problem. Oh, he was being jumpy, he was being nervous, he was being aggressive. You
He
know,
tensing up. He was tensing
yeah,
up.
he tensing up. So that's my policeman instincts told me I need to ask him. I wanted to search his vehicle because he was acting nervous. Everybody acts nervous when they see them blue lights. I don't care what color you is. Everybody acts nervous when they see them blue lights
Mm-hmm.
because it ain't the point that we think about dying, but now you kind of have to put that in consideration. You thinking about a ticket,
When,
especially if you not a wealthy person or something like that. You thinking about, oh shit, I'm finna get a ticket. My insurance gonna go up. So now you jumping because this simple ticket. You don't think this simple ticket can cost me my life, but now you have to start thinking about that. You think this simple ticket is gonna cost me my insurance. Now I have to pay more money because my insurance going up. So yeah,
yeah.
everybody is jumpy when they get pulled over by the police. So that little cockamamie story they love to use. Oh, he was acting aggressive. He was nervous. He was nervous or whatever like that. That's why I asked to search his car. That's just a lie. That's just a lie and a ploy they use to try to dig deeper, especially if you in what they consider a high crime area, the surroundings, your color, all that plays into a part. Because if you stopped in a nice neighborhood, but your address, on your license is not for that neighborhood. Next question out their mouth is, what you doing over here? Last time I checked, this was America. I can
Uh-huh.
drive
Yeah,
wherever I
yeah, yeah,
want to
yeah.
drive. Unless you catch me inside of a gated community that I got into under false pretense or got into,
By jumping the
and
gate.
yeah, by jumping the gate, I can drive down my tax. I can drive on any road. Put that down. Put it back in there. I can drive on any road I want to. You
Mm-hmm.
know. but they don't see a lot like that. So I mean, I ain't getting into that police drama and police saga and stuff like that. Anyway, we came on here to talk about some sports, and I mean, Tyreek, slow down, stop speeding, leave early. You know, your ass wasn't speeding. Well, I ain't gonna say he was speeding, but I mean, leave early. So
All right.
and drive slow.
Well, let's go around the league. Let's go around the league and catch everybody up on the score. In case you've been
Well,
under a
no,
rock.
before we get into that,
Okay.
we got to go back to a Saturday. Big college weekend, you know. You had a lot of
Okay.
college teams that, you know, looked good. You had some college teams that struggled.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
had a made you had another big upset. My team got upset 2 weeks in a row. Then you had another top five team get upset yesterday by a school they paid to come upset them. At least at least my school did not have to pay those schools to upset them
All right.
because
So let's
those
let's
were
let's just
conference games.
let's just run down the top 10 because it's going to be a shakeup in the polls.
Yeah.
Okay, you had Georgia, number one Georgia versus Texas Tech. They beat them easily 48-3. Ohio
Yeah.
State put up a big number against Western Michigan, 56-0.
Yeah.
Texas, the number 3 Texas Longhorn beat the number 10 Michigan Wolverines 31-12.
Yeah.
Now, with that being Michigan lost to a top 5 team, they should go up where they should go up to about 9 or 8.
No, they shouldn't.
Yes, they would go up for the simple fact that Notre Dame, well, Alabama number 4 beat South Florida 42-16.
Okay, so
Now,
who is six? Who is six?
the number 6 seed was Ole Miss. They're gonna go to number 5.
Okay,
Ole Miss,
who was seven?
7 was Oregon. They barely pulled out a
They
win
won.
against
They won.
Boise.
They won. They won. Okay, I'm tired. A win is a win. In 2 weeks, okay, that's for the playoff committee to decide how you won when they picking the at-large bids. I
But
hate when people do that.
we can influence the playoff
We
committee
shouldn't.
right now.
We shouldn't influence the playoff committee because that influence, okay, is not fair. If you
But
win,
but
you don't
okay,
drop. If you win, you don't
okay.
drop.
Well, okay. Well, look, Northern Illinois played Notre Dame.
All
They
right.
beat Notre Dame 16-14. Notre Dame was a 30-something
Yeah.
favorite
And
underdog. Oh,
Notre Dame deserves to drop. But
yeah. So they're
Michigan
gonna
does
drop
not
to about
Michigan
number
does not
10.
okay, Michigan does not deserve to move up for losing. And the way they lost, Texas dominated them. Texas
So
just
okay.
Texas
So let
didn't
me
just
ask you this.
not beat them. I watched that game. Texas dominated them from start to finish.
So you think Notre Dame is going to be 9 and Texas is going to stay at? I mean, Michigan's going to stay at 10, or
No.
do you see Michigan
Who is
falling out?
okay? Michigan should fall out the top 10. Notre Dame, because they lost to Northern Illinois, should fall out the top 10. Both of them should be out of the top 10. Both of them should be out of the top 10. You
Okay.
don't get
Well,
to
then,
move up. You don't get to move up when you got dominated. I could have seen now if Michigan lost a close game and it went down to the wire, I could see Michigan either staying where they at or with the Notre Dame loss moving up. But you don't move up when you got your ass beat at your house. It wasn't like they went on the road to Texas. They got beat. They got their ass handed to them at their house.
okay. Well, let me ask you this. Since we talking about this, okay, we got number 24. We're going to drop down in the post. Number 24, North Carolina State lost to Tennessee 51-10. Tennessee was a number 14th ranked team. Do you think North Carolina State will fall?
Tennessee should be in the top 10.
So you think Tennessee is going to overjump USC that won 48-0 against Utah State?
Utah State. They beat Utah State. Now,
They beat them.
I don't care
Okay.
if they beat them 1,000-1. Tennessee basically that was a road game for Tennessee because it was played in Charlotte. That was a road game for Tennessee. Tennessee went on the road and
Yeah,
dominated.
they went to North Carolina State. Yes.
Yeah, no, the game was played in Charlotte.
Oh, that was the Duke's Mayonnaise
Yeah,
Classic. Okay, yeah.
the game was played in Charlotte. They went to North Carolina, dominated a ranked NC State team, and they deserve to jump other schools because they should be in that 10th spot. Except, okay,
Okay.
right now, who's number 8?
Number 8 was Penn State. They won 34-27 over Bowling Green.
Did Penn State lose last week? Or are they 2-0?
Penn State is actually 2-0.
Okay, Penn State. I ain't never sold on Penn State. Penn State. I think Tennessee should be in that 10th spot. I wouldn't be mad if Tennessee was ahead of Penn State. I'm never sold on Penn State. And it ain't got nothing to do with James Franklin. Tennessee been like that ever since Joe Paterno got kicked out and everything like that. Penn State. Penn State looks the part in the off season. They looks the part in the early game, but they can't win the big games down the stretch. When it comes to the Michigans and Ohio States and stuff like that, and then you gotta look. They done added other these West Coast teams to the
Okay.
Big Ten. So I still ain't sold on Penn State. Haven't been sold on Penn State in years and years. So in my eyes, I would not be mad if Tennessee jumped them.
Okay, so what you think? Let's go to number 25, Clemson. Clemson lost to Georgia. They rebounded against App State. They won 66-20. They was number 25. The Giant Killers, the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets that beat y'all last week, turned around and lost to Syracuse in the squeaker 31-28. I know what you're saying. A loss is a loss. I understand that. And then the number 24 team, they got beat. So where do you see Clemson going to?
I would leave Clemson. Right now, I don't know what Clemson is.
So you saying they searching for identity.
They're searching for identity, but then you don't know what Clemson is because App State, you're supposed to beat App State like that. You're supposed to beat App State like that. But if you are Clemson, with the history that you had in recent years, in the last 10 years, you have won 2 national titles. You were always in the 14 playoff mostly every year. You looked at like straight garbage against Georgia. And Georgia's going to make a lot of teams look like that this year. I live over here near Athens. I, hear a lot, see a lot being over here, Georgia. So Georgia is going to make a lot of teams look like that. But they were not supposed to make Clemson look like that if you are what is considered Clemson old, the old saying, oh, we don't rebuild, we reload. Look like you reloaded your bullets on offense with some blanks.
Hey.
The first half, I watched that game. The first half, the defense is there, but your offense was shooting blanks, and your defense by eventually, you kind of got a little wore down. And Georgia is so good. Don't get me wrong. Georgia is so good. If you a step late, or you a half a second off, or they hold a block a second longer, you're gonna hear something as a defender shoot by your ear. You're gonna hear that little sound, and you're gonna be like, "What the fuck was that?" Guess what that was? That was the running back gone, because they have, if not the best running back room in the country. I would ask anybody to come over here and tell me who does. Georgia running backs, they look like the same guy, but all of them got on different uniforms. It's 4 of them. It's 4 of them. But I ain't never seen 4 dudes that run the same style. They don't skip a beat when they switch them out. And if you rotate them out right, that mean they fresh. So defenses be warned. You know, when you hear that sound, that was you might as well turn around and look the other way because you finna read his. You're gonna figure out who just passed you by his name on the back of the jersey because you're gonna be looking at the back of his jersey. You know, and that's all I'm gonna say on that. The only team right now, and it's a long season, health wise, teams make improvement and everything like that. So you never know what's gonna happen 3, 4, 5 weeks down the road, you know. But right now, it's 3 top teams in the country. And really I'm gonna go with 2 because in my eye, Ohio State ain't really played nobody yet. You know, Ohio State ain't.
No, they do play in that conference they in. So,
But no, that the thing about it is you got no. It just they didn't have no harder game scheduled at the beginning of the season. You got to wait until later on in the season to see Ohio State against tougher competition. It's not Ohio State fault. That's how the schedule fell out. You know, they were not in any of the kickoff classics or overseas games or nothing like that to where they're playing a D1 talent. You know, because college games, they non-conference games, those games are booked 3, 4 years out, sometimes a little bit longer than that.
yeah,
Because if I ain't mistaken, 2028, 2029, as I'm thinking is the years, that's when Florida State and Georgia supposed to play each other. If I ain't mistaken. They're gonna do a home and home.
the home and
See,
home series.
that's how far out your non-conference schedules are made. You know, just like Alabama got to play Wisconsin this coming up week. That game probably was made 3, 4 years ago. You know, to where the players you had then is not even gonna be there no more. So, you know, you rolling the dice by playing a Power 5 conference school because you don't know what you're gonna have in 4 to 5 years, but you trust, you trust your school, you trust your coaches and your recruiting and everything like that to where okay, we still gonna be good in them 4 to 5 years. Bring them on. You know, that's a good game. Everything like that. It just didn't pan out like that for Ohio State. You know, so I'm not taking nothing from Ohio State, but another thing, I would not be mad because of what Texas did to Michigan. If they move Texas into that number 2 spot, I would not be mad about that. You know, you can win and still fall. I said earlier, if you win, you shouldn't fall. But if the team nipping at your heels dominates a better team than what you just played, I see y'all switching spots. And that's all it'll be. Just drop Ohio State to 3. No harm, no foul. You just down 1 spot. Ain't like you're going to lose money over it being number 3. All is a number going to change next to your name. And that's only in the AP. This don't even count right now because it don't matter until the committee ranking come out. And that comes out like week 8, week 7 or 8. You know, that's on down the line. So right now, this here just for shits and giggles. You know, it gives us talking heads something to talk about. You know,
Yeah,
my team, it gives the fan, we number 1, we number 2, we number 3. Shit don't matter. It don't matter right now because the AP has nothing to do with the playoff committee. You know,
it don't. It don't.
yeah,
It's just numbers. It's just numbers.
yeah, it's just numbers
Yeah,
right now.
yeah.
Like I said, for us, the talking heads, the fan, it gives us something to argue about in the sports bar. You know what I'm saying? It gives like, hey, my buddy
At the
Tad at
barbershop.
church this month. At the barbershop, the bar, church, it gives us right now, those gives us talking points at those type of places. That number next to your school right now, it don't matter. And if you don't have a number next to your school right now, that don't matter. You
Yeah,
know?
because you can get a number at the end.
Yeah, what you want to do is
Well,
have a
every
number
team.
at the end.
Let's tell this. Every team has a number, but they only put out the numbers 1 through 25. Every team has a number.
Yeah, every team can get a number, but
Every
the
team got
number,
a number.
but Skyrocket, the number don't mean nothing. Right now, the number don't mean nothing. That number don't mean nothing because, and then this here what kills me about the Associated Press. You put out this poll, you ride with this poll, but then at the end of the season, you give your Associated Press national championship trophy to whoever the playoff committee say won. So that's my thing about that is y'all just gonna fall in line anyway. So why I wouldn't even put out no number, but they have to have numbers now
Yeah.
because us as the talking heads have to have, and the fans, we have to have something to talk about, argue about, everything like that. Because Vegas don't care about no numbers. Vegas don't care about that number next to your name. Vegas gonna set their line based on what they insiders done told them that team got, what that team, what stats and stuff that team put up, and everything like that. Vegas ain't gonna, Vegas right now, Vegas don't care about that number next to you. Vegas set the line on what to bet. That's the number with Vegas. Vegas want to know, okay, how your offensive line is. Anybody hurt on it? Everything like that. They don't care if you got a number 1 or number 2 next to your name. If okay, because here you go right here. I don't know who they would pick if Texas played Georgia tomorrow. I don't know who Vegas would make the favor, but Vegas ain't care about that number next to their name. Vegas going on stats and stuff and what they feel, information they done gathered on the health and the situation and where the game get played at and everything like that. They don't care about that number that the Associated Press put next to your team. They want more information than that because they can say, hell, the Associated Press could be wrong. Texas could really be the number 1 team, but y'all got Georgia ranked number 1 based on because what Georgia
What they
had
did
coming.
last year.
Yeah, well, not well, and what they base the number on what how many returners you got coming is a lot of your returners at the skill positions, quarterback, running back, defensive end, secondary. They put all that into factors of before they come out with their preseason ranking, and everything like that. How many of your starters came back, you know?
Yeah. 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 Um, so they just put my I'm looking at my fantasy. I just got an alert. My tight end from Dallas, they put him as questionable for next week. So
Well, Skyrock, any little nick. That's the thing about it is check that they'll update that by Wednesday or Thursday. Any little nick or something like that, they're gonna put questionable by it because that's another thing that helps Vegas set the line. It
uh-huh.
ain't this world, especially in the world of sports, when you have that injury report and all that stuff, that's to help Vegas set the line.
Yeah, and they be setting these lines crazy. 'Cause,
Yeah.
you know what, it's either here or there. But okay, so let's fast forward. Uh I feel like they just hated Clemson. And we were really good. They did their best to keep us from being number 1. No, no, no. I
Who
can't.
said
I
that?
can't. Um, your cousin, your cousin, your cousin, your cousin.
And I mean Felicia, how did they do that? I feel like they just hated Clemson when we were really good. They didn't did their best to keep us from being number 1. I mean, when you was
Well,
winning,
I can say the same thing about Carolina. That year we had a good team, and we got as high as what 2, and we had beat somebody big, and they still wouldn't put us at 1. They kept us at 2. So
well, it be like that sometimes. College football is my favorite sport. I love it to death. I love the atmosphere, camaraderie.
look, read that one. So
Yes.
Felicia.
And
So
I mean,
Felicia,
she did. You did. And I'm not. And we, Felicia, we not taking nothing away from what Clemson did in the past. But
we
right
talking
now,
about now.
we talking about the now, today.
Now.
You look, y'all looked like garbage. Yeah, you beat App State yesterday. You dominated them. You're supposed to do that. You dominate them. You beat the brakes off of them. You know that's why you paid them to come there. You and don't get me wrong, y'all
Paid
paid
them
App
good
State to
too.
come there. That's why
Paid
you
them good.
paid them to come there. But when you play what is considered the top, you look like garbage. You know, we lost. We lost 2 games. We lost 2 games. Don't get me wrong. We lost 2 games, and 'cause in my eyes, all we doing is trying to. We gonna try to play spoiler and knock other people out the playoff now. Cause we and those 2 games were 2 conference games, so that's gonna be damn near
Y'all
impossible
got a
to
long
make
way.
up.
Yeah, y'all got a long way now.
That's gonna be damn near impossible to make up 2 conference games. Okay, but Felicia, we scored. We scored. Clemson did not score. Georgia did not let them get a touchdown. Georgia, it took to the second half for Clemson to get into Georgia territory. They did not cross the 50-yard line until the second half of that game. And the
And
thing
that was
about
what
it is,
Georgia had they backups in.
no, Skyrocket, that was not. Georgia still had their start. Remember, it was only 6-0 at halftime. The
Oh
point
yeah,
I'm
it was
trying to
6
make,
minutes.
the
Yeah,
point
yeah.
I'm trying to make to Felicia is your defense looked good the first half. They shut down a high-powered offense that first half. Your offense did not help you. Your offense did not help you at all because your defense stayed on the field. By the time Georgia, like I say, Georgia is so good, you can still be early in the third quarter. But if you done lost a slight step because of their speed and everything like that, he gonna that what was a 5-yard run in the first half. Now because you that half a step slower because it being on the field so much. Now that 5-yard run is a 10-yard run in the third
Yes.
quarter. In the third
And
quarter,
and the speed
it's a
and
10.
with the speed of the
It,
players now,
yeah,
you got players that can turn it up and take off at any moment.
yeah. And the thing about it, Felicia, by the time the end of the third rolled around, now that 10-yard run that he was getting, or they was getting at the beginning of the third quarter, is now 15, or take it to the house. They breaking tackles and everything like that. It's a slow process. What happened to Clemson defense? They slowly got wore down in that game, and Georgia just kept on pulling away because Clemson offense could not do nothing.
She she talking about she almost cried because she thought it was high schoolers. So you think they went to T.L. Hannah and got some of the high school players to play in Clemson uniform?
Hey, no, they stopped the bus on the way coming down here to Atlanta and picked up some kids, from the rec league or something, and it was just on offense. It was just on offense. Okay, remember, Clemson got a nice defense. Clemson has a good defense, So if they can get their offense to do better, and maybe this game showed them some stuff, but you're gonna have to get in there against some better talent and see if those plays work. But yo guys, big win. I was very proud of them. I watched that game yesterday afternoon. They looked at a whole lot. How about those? How about them Gamecocks? How about them fighting
Yeah.
Gamecocks? Yeah.
So everybody that wasn't really a Gamecock fan wrote Carolina off after last week game against
Because look
Columbia.
how they struggled. They skyrocket. They
Because we
struggled,
struggled.
but no, skyrocket. It wasn't that just that you struggled. You looked it terrible doing it. Because you can struggle. You can struggle And I'm not taking up for my team. We struggled and lost 2 games, but at certain points, we looked at like, okay, we still can win this thing. You
Uh-huh.
know, at certain point, Carolina looked at loss against Old Dominion. You know, what won that game for Carolina in the end, I feel just better talent won out. It wasn't
Yes.
coaching, it wasn't scheme. It's just that they were just more talented than Old Dominion. You know what I'm saying? That's why everybody was writing Carolina off because they looked it so bad. Even though it was a win, they looked it so bad winning. You can look good losing. You know what I'm saying? A close game, you can look good. Like Georgia Tech didn't look bad against Syracuse, even though they lost to Syracuse. They didn't look bad against Syracuse. It was a close fought game. What it is, somebody had to win in the end. But Carolina against Old Dominion, it looked like y'all were lost. Now this week against Kentucky, I don't know what Beamer said to him in practice or whatever like that because, and it was a road game, and it was
Yeah.
a road game. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's why I said, how about them Gamecocks? You know, because I had done wrote them out because I said they look like they looked against Old Dominion. Not only is they gonna lose to Kentucky, they're gonna get blow out by Kentucky. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But hey, them Gamecocks, they went up there. I don't know what Beamer told them, but it seemed like they was more focused. Maybe they overlooked Old Dominion. Maybe them guys, first game of the season, first home game. You know, they college kids. You gotta remember that. Maybe they was out partying, whatever, whatever. You know, first game of the season. Oh man, some of them could have been hung over. But this game, they seemed like they was more focused at at the task at hand. You know, and it was a nice, impressive. At points, they dominated Kentucky. You know, they looked at like the better team than Kentucky at certain points in that game. You know, so and that's all. You know, and now I believe Stoops is now the longest tenured coach with Nick Saban leaving. He's the longest tenured coach in the SEC.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. So not only did you beat a D1 school, a conference game, that's a conference win. You know, you beat a coach that has been there for over a decade.
Well, yeah, he's been there for a long time. He's been
He
there
been
for a
there
long.
about 12. I
Now,
want to say about. I
will
want to
he
say he
catch
been there
Nick
about
Saban? I don't
12
think so.
years.
I don't
Huh?
think he. I don't think he'll put in the number of years at that school that Nick Saban put in at Alabama.
No, I ain't
I don't.
saying he gonna be at that long. I don't know. That's up to University of Kentucky to decide that. But what I'm saying is, I believe he's been there about 12, 11, 12 years. You know, he is now the longest tenured coach in the SEC. And that is, and in this day and age, the way they fire coaches after 3 years, that's nothing to sneeze at. You know what I'm saying? That means he
You're
must
right.
have been doing that. He must have been doing a decent job, a good job, because they will fire you now after 3 years. They don't care. They will send you home. I don't. These colleges now printing up plenty of money. They will send you home and tell you your check still coming. However, they was paying you, you know, and
Your
but we
service
just
is no longer
we
needed
yeah, your
at the
service no longer being, they like oh Nino Brown. Remember Nino Brown with the roster man? Roster man, Nino Brown said your service is no longer needed.
yeah.
You know, but that's the world of college football now. So you can't say that Stoops ain't he been doing something. If you been there that long, you've been doing something, you know. So good
Yeah, you
win,
do so good.
Carolina.
All right. So
Yeah.
good. Go ahead.
Uh,
We we finna talk about them in a second. She asked what we think about Prime and Colorado. Colorado lost to Nebraska Saturday. Um Did I see it happening? Yes, because they really didn't show me nothing that showed me they was firing on all cylinders the way um the way North Dakota State was moving the ball on them the first week. Um, do I think he'll get it fixed? Yes. How long? I don't know, but I know it's gonna get fixed. Trust me, it's gonna get fixed. It's gonna get handled. It's gonna get brought up. We're not gonna be the only people to talk about this. A lot of people gonna talk about this. Um, for the simple fact that Dion has such a following at Colorado. Love him or hate him, do what you want to do, but you sure got to respect him. And
You
he's one
respect.
of the he's
You respect.
he's one of
Go
the
ahead.
coaches that have changed the narrative in college football, not just for NCAA, not for just D1 schools, but HBCUs too. Because when he came out and told them schools, them D1 schools that was paying them schools little or nothing to get them to come and beat up on them, and he told them schools to stop taking that little bit of money, and you know you ain't got a chance in hell, or you might lose some of your key players getting hurt. They listen. And now the narrative, the averages of those lower tier schools making money to go play these high tier schools, the money amount has risen.
Risen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, risen. And
Rising is something that the baseball players, you know, that stuff they put on their hand with the pitch up
that's
there. That's the
rising. That's
rising,
rising.
rising. There
That's
you go, right there.
rising.
There you go. There
But
you go.
um, but
Hey,
hey,
it's all about what part of the country you from. Cause South Carolina, we say rising. Give me some of that rising.
hey, rising is what you put on your bow, on your viol for your violin. Rosin
Okay, well,
is
see, there you go right there. That ain't gonna have shit to do with me, cause I don't play the violin, so I don't care what
hey,
go on the boat.
I play so
See, there
so
you go.
but I am still a Dion. I am still a Colorado fan. That's that's my West Coast team. I do pull for them. I hope that one day I will be able to go out there before he leaves there to go witness a game. I would love to go to the mountains and see a game and take in that atmosphere because I hear it's just like what we do on the East Coast. You know,
Yeah.
um, in the East Coast down south, we actually tailgate when we say tailgate. We don't bring no potato salad or chicken salad sandwiches and bologna on cold cut. We don't do that. We actually
You
bring
don't you
grill.
don't you bring grills and you cook. You don't bring catered food. You don't do the you actually get out there early in the morning and cook.
Well,
You cook food. You grill.
funny story. When my brother was in undergrad at USC Aiken, we decided to go to a Carolina Tennessee game. That's when Corey was playing for Carolina, and it was at Neyland Stadium. And we went up there with a grill. We rented a truck, we took a grill, and we found the meat market up there, and we cooked for the game.
Yeah.
We made the news because they were never used to nobody cooking like that at Neyland State. They used to people bringing a the box of chicken, not actually grilling, and we was grilling. So
Because that is us, skyrocket. That is us, and that is a HBCU tradition. A lot of your PWIs, those they okay. Prime example right here. We will hang out after the game. If the game is at 12, it's over with at 4. We done went there ahead of time and tailgated, right?
Uh-huh.
After the game over, we going back to our tailgate spot if we left it at all, and we gonna hang out and eat some more.
Well, you're gonna have one or two that stay behind because they're not capable of making that trek to the stadium
To the
because
stadium,
they
yeah.
don't park
But
out
no,
a
but
little
then
bit too
no
much.
style good. We go back to our tailgate spot and we hang out on some more. Basically, and I know this is what we used to do when we went to South Carolina State homecoming. When we went with South Carolina State and Benedict played at William Bryce. After the game, we went back to the tailgate spot. We still had food, liquor, beer, everything like that. Oh, crank the music up. Basically, the police had to run us off before we left.
Now
I
that's a
went,
part.
huh?
That's a part. That's a
Yeah.
part.
I have attended a lot of Georgia games since I moved over here. I try to go to at least one game a year. A couple years I went to two. You know, our Caucasian friends after the game and some blacks that ain't been tailgating that HBCU stuff after the game, they going home. They
It's
headed
like
to
a
their
it's
car.
like a desert.
Yeah, they get on, and I've been to a lot of Carolina games. We go, it's over there with Mike Davis now. We go back over to that spot and we sit there and watch the cars go by of all our Caucasian friends. They leaving. They going home. You know, with us, we hanging out. We got the music playing. If we won, we celebrating. If we lost, we celebrating.
Oh,
It's
it's
a
gonna be
culture.
a great time to be had.
It's a culture thing. It's a culture thing. You know,
Hmm.
our culture is, hey, I'm out here. We done been out here all day. You know, hey, you remember? I don't know. You didn't come up there with us. I remember we cooked out for South Carolina State Benedict one year. We cooked breakfast up there. We cooked
Yeah.
breakfast. We grilled. We grilled and had the thing set up to where we was out there all day. We don't. When we go tailgate, it's an all day function for us. All day, all like I said, the police got to run us off.
She said she said she going home. And see, that's why you can't hang with us, Felicia. Because you going home. That's why you can't hang with us. But
Yeah, but I mean, we go back because okay, it's a little different now because now one of the reasons, Felicia, we went back after the game and parted. They didn't sell alcohol in the game, so our little buzz done come down. We ready to go get this back up. We know we got drinks at the car, at the food, at the tailgate spot. You know, but now they serve drinks in the game, so it may be a
certain
little.
teams, certain games, yeah.
You know, I know Georgia done. Now Georgia was selling at baseball games and basketball games. Georgia Tech sold them at the baseball game.
But they don't
Georgia
sell them at
supposed
football.
Georgia supposed to start selling that football this year. Yeah, this year is the first year Georgia's gonna start selling alcohol at their football games.
Well, see, it's now. She say people show out too badly now. No, it's not. I can't say you can govern the people that are around you, but you can put yourself in those good areas, and you'll know if it's a good area or not, where you'll feel safe and you ain't got to worry about that.
Young
If
people,
you
young people
if
show
you
out. Young people
if
show
you
out.
if you looking for if you see a $50 spot, but you want to take this $20 spot because you trying to save this money, 9 times out of 10, there's gonna be some riff and raff at that $20 spot, and it ain't gonna be none at that $50 spot.
But the thing about it is, it's the people you surround yourself with. This is what, and I
That's what I
love.
said.
Yeah, and but no, I'm talking about to this point. Okay, it's certain people. And I ain't gonna name no name because I ain't want to put their name out there like that. But Skyrocket, you know him. My wife know him. Everything like that. I would not even invite them to a setting like that because they don't know how to act once they get that liquid in them and they
Oh
in a
yeah,
large group of people. You know,
yeah.
I limit when I go to stuff like that. I limit who especially when I was over there. I don't now when I'm over here. I don't really know. I know folks, but I mainly just go with one person now, and we'll go bar hopping before the game. Get us some drinks in. Okay, now we a little goddamn zooted, little buzz for the game. We heading on in. Now I want to catch me a game this year because this year they started to say alcohol in the game. They're gonna keep my buzz going. Cause he be ready. Now see, he like them. I ain't gonna name his name because I don't put it in. He like them. I get out the game. I'm ready to go find another drink. He ready to go home. You know what I'm saying? I still, hey man, it's packed down here downtown Athens. Man, let's go hit another bar or something. He ready to go home. But I know I be getting zooted, so he drives. So that's my ride. I ain't got no choice. My ride leaving. I ain't got no choice. No, you ain't Felicia, Uber, downtown Athens, you gonna it's cheaper to just walk. Pack as it be, Uber ain't gonna never make it to you. It'll take you way. Cause see, that's another thing that I used to. UGA Stadium is on campus. South Carolina Stadium is not on campus.
It's on the outskirts.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it is so congested because you forcing 80, 90,000 people onto this campus. So it is jam packed down in there when that game let out because it's basically down a hill in a boat. Going to the game is fine, but when you leaving
We're
the
coming
game,
out.
when you coming out, you got to go up here. You walking up here. You dead tired, big fella like me. I'm dead tired by the time we get back to the car because we done had to walk up here. My knees be burning, my thighs be burning because it just boy tired. It was a spot. It was a spot when Toya used to go, and I would pay $60 to park because it was basically still at a lower level of the hill. And Toya's like, "You gonna pay that?" I said, "Yes," because look, all we got to do is walk this far. If I go up the street where it's 40, 25, look how far I got to walk.
Oh yeah. The cheaper it is, the further you got to walk.
Yeah. Yeah. So it is what it is.
Well, you think it would be the students that were bad, the parents are worse? She's saying you would think it's the students that would be bad, but it's really not the student, it's the parents.
I've never ran into no bad parents at college games.
Anytime you see an adult showing out of a game, one or two things done happen. Either one, they done had some money on the game and they done lost their bet, or number two, they done had too much to drink and they can't handle their liquor like that.
Most of the time when I see parents show out, that's in youth sports because they think little Billy, little Timmy, little Jenny is the next goat of
Babe Ruth.
whatever sport they playing. And when somebody tells them different, or little Timmy and Billy or Jenny strike out, and somebody in the crowd says, "Get them out of there," they're sorry. That parent pride is hurt because that parent is investing all that time and energy and money. People need to be more like me. And my kids really never played sports, but if they did, I am honest enough, and everybody that know me, I would tell them to their face, "You suck." See, that's the thing about it is, there ain't nothing wrong with telling your child they suck. That might help them get better. But when you tell them they great at something and you know they suck, you giving them false hope. Tell them they suck. Tell them maybe this ain't. I mean, you could tell it nicer than how I deliver, but you might be could tell them this son, daughter, this may not be the thing for you. Let's go see can we find something else you good at, because this may not be for you,
Mm-hmm. All right. Hey, but listen, time is running short, and well, we over our hour, but we having a good talk. But we must talk about WNBA. The playoffs are getting ready to start for the WNBA. They
Uh-huh.
have,
I said, uh-huh.
They got the top 8 already ready.
Uh-huh.
Well, they got the top 7 already set. The 8th seed is still up for grabs. A couple of things can go one way or the other. And hold on, I'm moving my thing on, I'm moving my screen over to get it to it. Let's see. So the top 7, of course, everybody know the New York Liberty is number 1. They 29-6, then followed by Minnesota, Connecticut. The Aces are number 4. The Aces are the defending champion, 2-time defending champion. Seattle Storm is at 5. Indiana Fever with Caitlin Clark.
Okay, why can't be Indiana? Why can't be Indiana Fever with Aaliyah Boston?
I said Boston with Boston. And I forgot the 3-point shooter they got that lights it up.
Okay, you didn't name. Why are you naming Fevers? Why are you naming Fevers? See, you ain't named nobody.
Because they basically was a team that nobody expected to be there this year. And then the Phoenix Mercury is number 7. Now, the Atlanta Dream and
that's right. The American Dream.
The Atlanta Dream and the Chicago Sky is 8th and 9th. Chicago Sky is 8th. Atlanta Dream is 9th. But it's only one game separating them. I forgot the tiebreaker scenarios. But out of these top 7, who do you have making it to the final show?
I'm gonna go. I don't know too much. I know about the teams and the players and stuff like that, but I don't know how the divisions is. They do divisions in the WNBA or just
yes, they do conferences. So out of the Eastern Conference, it's the Liberty, Suns, Fever. That's the top 3, and then Chicago and Atlanta is that time for that 4th spot.
I don't see nobody in the East. I don't see nobody in the East beating the Liberty.
Okay.
Breanna Stewart is strong, and what's the other girl? They guard. She's good. They both of them showed out in the Olympics. They've been showing out. Matter of fact, the Liberty beat the Aces today. Yeah. So at the East, I don't see nobody beating.
Okay, and then out of the West, you got the Minnesota Lynx, Las Vegas Aces, Seattle Storm, and the Phoenix Mercury.
Now the Lynx might challenge, and maybe the Aces are getting their stuff together. I think they stumbled out the gate a little bit. I don't know if it was maybe it was a hangover from last year winning, the championship again, So, but maybe the Aces are getting their stuff together. But the Lynx look tough. So to me, it's a toss up between them two, the Lynx. In my opinion, the Lynx and the Aces. But out of the East, I'm riding with New York. I would be shocked. I ain't saying New York gonna win it, the title, but I would be shocked if they didn't be the team to represent the East. I would really be shocked. Yeah.
Okay, and now, with that being said, we got, let's see. The season is fastly, let's see, no game schedule. Let's see, 22nd. Because I know they're getting ready for the playoffs. The last regular season game is Thursday, September 19th. And that is the finale of the regular season. Let's see, Atlanta have to play the Dream, Atlanta and Chicago have to play each other. I'm trying to see how many more times they have to play each other because they are in the same conference.
Mm-hmm.
September the 10th. All right, so they play Chicago one more time.
Oh, okay.
So they play Minnesota, Washington. They play Washington back to back. This is the Atlanta Dream schedule. They play Minnesota, Washington back to back, Chicago at home at the Gateway Center, and then they play New York. Now Chicago schedule, they last 4 or 5 games. They play Washington, Minnesota, Phoenix, Atlanta, and Connecticut.
But that Phoenix game, all them games are very winnable for Chicago.
Yeah.
That's an easy little road. The Dream seem like they got a harder schedule to keep hope to that last playoff spot. But it seemed like Chicago got an easier path than the Dream. But it's decided on the court. But just going on paper, it seemed like the Sky could surpass the Dream and clinch that last spot.
Okay.
But,
And
yeah.
Aces did lose to Liberty, beat the Aces today.
Yeah.
Um, I'm trying to get the box score. Kaplum was the leading scorer.
Asia
4.
Wilson was out. I think she
Yeah.
got something's wrong with her ankle or something like that.
Mhm. Yeah. So they resting her out basically.
Yeah.
They resting her out, but we just had to show the women some love. We talk about sports and we make sure we include all sexes, all genres. Real quick, something happened in the world of sports earlier this week. The long distance runner from Uganda. Did you hear about that? Her
No.
her ex, the Olympian, her ex-boyfriend set her on fire. They still investigating the cause, but he was an Olympic athlete, also a long distance runner. Me being the person that I am and always cracking jokes, sometimes in a distasteful manner, I was talking to Barrett and I said maybe she went and they got in an argument and she pulled out the card. Hey, Lisa, I am an Olympian and I have a medal. What you got? So we don't know. We'll find out. Right now, he's not talking. He's not talking to the authorities. He's holding fast on being silent. But when the story come out, we will release it here and put it out.
Yo.
It's so rude.
Yeah.
So rude.
Hold on. I got this. This a hot take, man. This is insider information I'm getting.
Okay.
So go ahead and tell me the story now. I'm waiting on you to talk, man. Tell me what you called me for. Oh, okay. Yeah. This Jesse and Dallas got the best kisser. Wow. That wouldn't even worth my time. Let me finish up this podcast. I sent you the link so your ass could get in. Let me finish up this podcast. I'll hit you back. Man, them Cowboys being went off because I was watching and sit here when they went off. You see what you did? You watching them bologna sandwiches. That's what you watch. All right, then. Yeah. Good.
Hold on. Shannon Sharp has this show. What is it called? Coffee Talk? After Dark?
Him and Ocho Cinco. Yeah, him and Ocho. Yeah.
Did you watch it last night?
No, I never watched that show.
Oh, man.
I catch snippets tippets and snippets and highlights. Yeah.
So Shannon Sharp, Ocho is always doing something dumb, right?
Mm-hmm.
So and they rub Shannon on the wrong way. They still friends or whatnot, but it rubbed him the wrong way. So last night, he was late to the show.
Mm-hmm.
So when the show started, Shannon had feedback in his earphone, and he was like, "Welcome to After Dark, such and such," doing this intro and whatnot. And he said, "Hey, I got
Hello.
feedback in my ears."
Mm-hmm.
So they fixed it. And then he started talking again. And next thing you know, the feedback came back. He said, "Hold on. God damn it. I got feedback in my ear. Can we fix this?"
Mm-hmm.
So Ocho, already late, he add fuel to the fire. "Hey, we can't be talking like this on After Dark." He said, "Hey, you talking about unprofessionalism? You need to be on time. You the only man I know will catch a ride with anybody to get to the studio." So they was tripping. They was tripping. So After Dark is like an offbeat of Club Shay Shay. And
Yeah.
yeah. So when you answer your phone just now, that remind me of them last night. You answer your phone just to hear about Dallas got the best kicker. We already know Dallas got the best kicker. We already knew that.
Yeah.
Dallas got the best kicker, the best quarterback, the best
I
running
ain't
back,
gonna say.
best wide,
No, I ain't gonna say.
best quarterback, the best free safety, best strong safety.
Y'all got the best. Y'all got the best defensive end. That's the only best y'all got.
We got the best defensive end. We got the best tight end, even though he went down and
No,
got hurt.
y'all don't have the best tight end. You don't have the best quarterback. You don't have the best receiver.
Am
You
I
don't
entitled
have.
to my opinion? Am
Yeah,
I
you are
entitled?
entitled, and
Okay, well, that's my
I'm
opinion.
entitled to tell you it wrong.
Now,
Now, tell me.
rule
Now, don't
number
get me
one.
wrong. You have a great quarterback. You have a great quarterback. That I hate how people always put the blame on Dak. You know, Dak is a great quarterback. Dak is a top 4 quarterback in the NFL. I can only name it. To me, it's only 3 quarterbacks, maybe 2, that's better than Dak. That if I was starting a team, it's only 2 that I would pick ahead of Dak.
Mahomes and who?
Josh Allen.
I can go with Josh Allen. I can go with those two. I can go with
Yeah.
those two. Josh Allen is a student of the game. But you know who we haven't heard about? Eli and Peyton Manning nephew.
Because he's
Archie.
sitting the bench. He's sitting the bench at Texas. Because Quentin Ewers is better. And ain't nobody, I don't care. We can start that talk up next week. Ain't nobody can tell me no better. Quentin Ewers is better.
So do you think he's going to hit the transfer portal or he's going to stay there?
No, because Ewers finna leave after this season. If they had to make it, that loss to Washington is the only thing that made Quentin Ewers come back. If they had to make it to the national championship game, he would have went pro. But by them not making it, that left a bad taste in his mouth, and he wants to come. Now he wants to try to win, but he at least wants to make it. Everybody wants to win. If you play at that level and you're that good and you're that high of a level, you want to win it. But I feel he at least wanted to make it to the national championship game.
Okay.
And then I felt he would have been like, okay, let the chips fall where they may. If we win, we win. If we don't, but by him not even making it, because he wanted that game they played yesterday, last year. He wanted to make it against Michigan because Michigan was the only thing in their way. Washington is irrelevant. Washington just had a good year last year. They caught lightning in a bottle. That's what everybody say. They caught lightning in a bottle.
Okay.
Quentin Hughes would have had this on his resume. He would have beat Alabama. If he didn't get hurt, he would have beat Alabama twice. Because last year, the year before that, they was beating Alabama until he got hurt and went out the game.
Uh-huh.
All right,
I remember that.
yeah, and he would have beat Michigan. He would have beat arguably two of the greatest. Well, depending on who you talk to, he would have beat two arguably the greatest franchises, programs in college football history. Michigan is the winningest. Alabama is the winningest national championship wise.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so to have that on your resume that you beat both of them, wasn't nothing else left for him to do in college.
Okay.
You know, he got it that he beat Michigan now, but it ain't the same Michigan team that won the national championship.
Oh, okay.
So now, so that's why he came back this year. He wants that. He wants to. I believe this year he wants more to win the national championship than he did last year.
Mm.
I feel last year he just wanted to make it to prove to people that Texas is back. Now he wants to win it because he wants to ride off
Into the
glory,
sunset.
number one pick in next year's draft, national champion, maybe Heisman Trophy winner, you know, because right now, it's to me, I don't see it, and I love Dion. I know you were talking about Dion earlier. I don't see now. Don't get me wrong. He a first round pick. I don't see Shador Sanders as the number one pick.
I see
I don't.
Travis Hunter or Joey Horn as no one
No,
pick.
thing about it is, Scar, this is a NFL is a quarterback league,
No,
and
defense have been running the draft. If you
no,
look back at the
no,
draft,
yeah,
yes.
but no. Who the number one picks? Who the number one picks done been the last 5 years?
But that's the narrative
Scar,
now.
Scar.
But the
See. They go. Stop. History. It's not
history.
history with college football is a now in this computer era, social media era. The history of college football is a 5 year window.
Okay.
You know why Dabo Swinney is getting all the hell he getting? Because your national championships are about to be outside that 5 year window. They don't want to hear because okay, think about Skyrock. In 5 years, you have a whole new set of students on campus. In 5 years, those ones that were there 5 years ago, now they're off living their life. They don't have, they may not have the time they had as college students to call in to these call in shows or just the ones that they claim causing all this havoc is just nerds sitting in their mama basement. That's the little narrative they call them, you know. But college football now is a 5 year window. What have you done for me in the last 5 years? That is why, because, okay, Dabo, when last time they won it? When last time Clemson won that championship? 2020,
Yeah.
20, something like that? 2020 or
Yeah.
something like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
20.
Okay. They didn't win it in 2021. No, Georgia won it in 20. Didn't Georgia win it? When did Georgia win it? Georgia won it in 22 and 21. So maybe 2020. Was it the 2020 year or whatever? But he's getting outside of that 5 year window. Right now, Kirby Smart, you know, he ain't got to win it. They look good, they could, but if he just have a good showing, they'll be like, well, Kirby, you don't win him every year because he's still inside his 5 year window. If you are making $10 million a year, and that's what Dabo making, you have a 5 year window, and that's what I'm saying. You going back to history, the history of college football, the history. that was fine with us in the 90s, Skyrocket. We from a different generation. This generation now, you got a 5-year window, or they making a whole lot of noise and stuff on social media about you need to go.
I'm looking at the history of the NFL draft. I did not know Florida State, South Carolina has more players that have went number one draft pick than Florida State. I did not know that. Florida
Yeah,
State only had one. Yeah, Florida State only had one. That was Jameis, famous
yeah.
Jameis. Not your son next to you, but the other Jameis. The other,
Jameis Winston. Yeah,
yeah,
that
yeah,
I remember when he won. He was our first number one overall pick. Yeah.
yeah. And Carolina has two. Cloris Clowney and the greatest Carolina football player ever, the set foot on AstroTurf, George Rogers.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, I just saw that. I was like,
And
caught
see,
to
that's
mind.
another thing. That's another thing that pissing Clemson off too. Clemson still mad about that shit.
Now the last 2 years, a quarterback has been taken first in the draft, but in 2022, a defensive lineman has been taken first as the number one draft pick in 2022.
Who that was? Miles Garrett.
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah,
Yes.
Miles Garrett. Yeah. Yeah, I forgot about Miles. My bad. I'm sorry, Miles. Yeah, and Miles was dominating. He's still that dominating. But Cleveland not paying that money. I wish he go to another team because Cleveland just a train wreck.
Hey, we're not gonna say that. But listen, man, let's get up out of here. It is 1 hour and 22 minutes, and we got to get up out of here. We got 8 minutes to get up out of here, and we'll
We
come
got
back and we'll talk more about college football, pro football. Then we'll go back to the subject with all four of us back on here. What in your life happened to make you change the decisions you was making?
what led you on this path? Because with a
Yeah,
lot of people, a lot of folks dying in the streets and accidents caused by sometimes by their own hand. What made you straighten your life out? And we would love for everybody, if anybody listening, we're gonna put it out there during the week. Everybody has that turning point, whether if you had kids or
a
you saw
near life
somebody, yeah, a
experience
near death experience.
or
What made you
something.
decide to, what it could be a person. It could be a person came into your life, you know,
And
because
if
we
you
didn't
want to
have
promote, go ahead.
the full staff this week. That's why me and Rocket just decided we were gonna talk sports so we could talk junk to each other and everything like that. But on this podcast, we like to talk and we like to get everybody's feedback on it, about serious issues. It ain't because sports is an outlet for us, gives us something to brag and talk junk to each other about. But we want to, talk about serious issues that affect life because we all are getting older now. Like I tell everybody, I know I got more years behind me than I got in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to talk and you want to know, what was, serious issues, everything. And everybody know me. I'm the biggest jokester it is. I laugh at funerals, but it comes a time in your life of what made you straighten up, what made you, or just not really straighten up, but what made you get off that path you thought was a path of destruction. So for you had to say, if I kept living like this, I wouldn't be here now because you saw people leave or something happen to say, well, I need to change and stop doing this. That's what we're
Yes,
gonna talk about when we get our whole crew, the fellas, back in here
next week.
next week. So
Next week. And then mark your calendars, October. We in the month of September show.
we're in the month of
October.
September. It's a countdown.
October,
It's the countdown
October
is
20, October 27th.
25th. 25th.
The 27th is the show. We will be
Yes.
going live
Live.
from Las Vegas.
Fabulous. Fabulous. Las Vegas, baby.
We will put out the bar. We will put out what bar we'll be located at. I'm reaching out to different bars and see who will host us. Because we want to be in the heart of things and the thick of things where we go live. So just mark your calendar. That is going to be That is going to be exciting. I got my calendar with the date circle. I have Shaquita. I have to give a shout out to Shaquita Adams for hooking me up. Hold on, let me show you. She found us some golf shirts with the dry fit material. Got to give her a shout out. I do wear colors now because I'm getting the neck.
There you go.
So I am getting the neck. I am still slimming slow, but I'm slimming. I'm slimming. I don't care what y'all say. Y'all say what y'all want to say. I had a guy the day we started our UBAC. He said, "Man, what are you doing? You drinking away?" I said, "I'm losing weight." That's all I can say.
There you go. There you go.
Let it go. Let it go. But go ahead, show. Close us out. It's on you today,
Well,
bro.
hey, like I just said, I kind of just closed it out there. What we're gonna talk about next week when we get the rest of the staff back in here. Another thing I want to touch on because we didn't touch on it this week. Dak Prescott became the highest player in NFL history. With his the amount of years and what the contract worth, it averages out. You know, it may not come like that because all the hidden clauses, but it's basically gonna average out to a whopping $60 million a year. So, all you Cowboy fans, if you're listening, tell a fan to check it. I want to get a lot of y'all opinion if we can on do you think that was a good move, bad move, or now
$240 million.
That's what I'm saying. And it comes 4 years, that comes out to $60 million.
And that's not including incentives like making playoff win, making the Super Bowl, winning the Super Bowl. Those are perks.
But 231 million of it is
guaranteed.
So he got 100,000 more. No, not 100,000, a million. He got a million more guaranteed than Dak Prescott. Then Watson, Deshaun Watson. He got a million more. He got a million more guaranteed than Deshaun Watson.
Now, question, and I know we should go. Do you think this set the precedent for quarterbacks to come in and say,
No, I think this gonna set the precedent to quarterback salary is finna be separate from the team.
You think so?
Yes, because you're gonna have to do that because what quarterbacks are demanding. If they are under that same salary cap, you are basically handcuffing teams because most of all your money is going to a quarterback. So I do believe in the next couple of years, what they're going to do is separate quarterback salary from the rest of the team and is a separate salary cap for quarterbacks.
Okay. Now, question is,
you keep asking me questions for somebody that we supposed to be going.
Oh yeah, we going. But last question: how many more years Mahomes got left on his contract?
Mahomes signed a 10-year contract. Remember, he signed a 10-year contract.
Yeah, he signed it, and they say he was crazy for signing that many years.
No, because what they gave him, quarterbacks. The thing about it is, it was not crazy. I hate people that say that. He was never going to see the end of that contract. That's what the thing about it is. All the thing that did, because the amount of guaranteed money they gave him, that allowed Kansas City to spread it out more. Once that guaranteed money, once they pay him the guaranteed money, Mahomes' agent going back. He going back. Once all that guaranteed money, and you have to look it up. But when they finally pay him all the guaranteed money, his agent going back and say, "Hey, we need a new deal."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because of look at what my client been doing. Look at what the market has now become. Patrick Mahomes smiled today. I don't know if he's still up at the U.S. Open. I think it's over, but he was at the U.S. Open with Kelsey and Taylor Swift. When he saw Dak's deal come across the board, he was the first one to smile because now he know I'm finna get over $60 million a year.
Yeah.
The second one I felt that smile was C.J. Strauss. Because if CJ keep playing like he playing, in a couple years, CJ gonna get over $60 million a year. So all Dak did was reset the market. He reset the market, you know, and bada boom, bada bam. There you go.
All right. Well, with that said, bada bing, bada bam, we ain't gonna add no more to this conversation. We're gonna cut it off right here. Stop it. You finished with your closing remarks?
I'm finished.
All right. Well, all I got to say is see y'all next week. This was an exciting one, but it's going to be more exciting next week. Come on in and check us out. Remember, we start at 7:30, and we normally try to keep it around an hour, but as you can see, sometimes we get over, depending on the conversation. Now, if you got a story you want to tell on the podcast next week about what made you change the way you was living or what the way you was doing things, feel free to hit me up in my inbox or hit Show Up or anybody associated with us, and we will send you out the link personally, and you can come in and we'll give you some time to tell your story because everybody has a story to tell, and the story is to be told, not sold. If you feel you can enlighten someone, come on in and enlighten somebody, because all of us have something that we can share with one another. With that being said, see y'all next week.
Peace out.
We out.